yummy caramel-filled brownies. So what I've got here is 3/4 a cup of melted butter. And to that, I'm just going to add cake mix, chocolate cake mix. So you can get whatever brand you like. I'm using Betty Crocker. You're going to dump that into the butter. Make sure you get it all because you want it all. And then what I've done is I've taken a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk and I've halved it. And it's a little bit over 1 cup once you measure it out. So I've got just a little bit over 1 cup that I'm going to put in, half of a cup, sorry. So you're going to put about half of a cup of the evaporated milk in here. And then you're just going to want to stir this all together. Get it all mixed in really good. This is going to be the batter for your brownies. But it kind of goes in a couple of phases. Alright. So we got this mixed up pretty well. It's pretty liquidy. Not as thick as your normal brownie batter would be. But I've got a 9x13 baking dish that I have sprayed. And what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to take half of this batter and get it poured into the baking dish. So let me get this going and I'll show you guys the next step. Alright, so the tricky part of that is going to be trying to make sure that I got half of the batter. I don't know, it looks like I put too much in the pan, but c'est la vie, we gotta do what we gotta do. So we've now got that in the bottom of the pan. Next what we're going to do is we're going to take some Heath Bits, and you can just find these in the cooking section of the cooking aisle at your local grocery store. So we're just going to coat this bottom. I don't remember what the ingredient said for how many to put in here, but I will not be using these anymore, so I'm going to use the whole little bag. Probably says not to use that much, but I really will not be using this for anything else. So that's what we've done here. Now, what I'm going to do next is, hold on, stand by, people. Not enough workspace here. So then, now that I've got this in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1/4 a cup of milk to the remaining part of my batter. Just making sure that that gets all well incorporated. Because hopefully that will make it a little bit more thicker to where it won't look as obvious that I probably didn't get as much of a good job of halving the batter when I initially started. So anyways, I will mix this together a little bit later. Now, what we're going to do in the meantime is I have measured out 2 cups of Rolos. Now, the recipe calls for 2 cups of Hershey Kisses with caramel in the middle. I could not find those at my store, so whatever, this is chocolate and caramel, same thing. Now, this is where you're going to put the rest of the evaporated milk into your recipe. You're going to add it into the chocolate and caramels that you got, and you're going to want to put this in the microwave, and we want this to melt all together. So let me get this started melting and we'll be back. Okay, so it took just a little over a minute to get everything melted. I think the caramels and the Hershey Kisses, the consistency is not as thick as in the Rolos, so this probably took just a tad bit longer. But anyways, what you're going to do now that you've got this all together, you're just going to take it and you're just going to pour it over the Heath bars as evenly as possible. And hopefully the caramel will reform once you've got it going. Alright. I don't know what I just said. Once you got it going. Going where? I don't know. Alright, anyways, so we've got that set. Now this is, they said on the recipe, this is the next tricky part. So the remaining of the batter, they said to just try to evenly smooth it out as much as you can over. And I know that this bowl is totally blocking your view. But try to evenly pour it over the entire thing. So this is my attempt to evenly pour it over the entire thing. These are going to turn out to be very interesting. So see if we can spread it out a little bit, because you want to try to seal it as much as you can, because the caramel is just going to ooze out, which is not a bad thing, but you don't want it oozing out so much that it's, you know, hard to actually have a cut brownie or anything like that. So try to get it around there as much as you can. And we might have a swirl effect at this point, but you know what? That's alright. I'm sure they're going to taste great. Anyways, in the meantime, my oven has been heating to 350 degrees, and we're going to put it in the oven and see how it comes out. So we'll be back. Alright guys, so you have to let these cool completely, or they're really hard to get out of the pan. Even when they're cool, they're still kind of hard to get out of the pan. I'm going to say don't go with the Rolos like I did. You can see that there is a lot of gooiness, and so the caramel is really good that's in here. Whoops. But I don't know, this is just a really crumbly brownie and really hard to eat. It tastes really good, but it's definitely not anything you can just pick up and just kind of take with you. You'd have to have a fork and a plate. But anyways, so this is it. I would say this is a fail. But we have those in baking and cooking, so so if you want to try this, I say go for it. I probably won't make it again. If I do decide to make it again, I'm definitely going to go with the Hershey Kisses with caramel. So if you decide to make it, let me know. But otherwise, this is your caramel-filled brownies. So enjoy.